Hello everyone, glad you tuned in to the channel again. Firstly, I'd like to apologize. I hadn't been around with a build video for quite some time. The last 1 month has been really trying for me and my family. We were all COVID positive and were home isolated, and we were taking our medications. Thankfully, by God's mercy, we are all safe and sound and we have fully recovered. I still have a few post-COVID syndromes that I'm dealing with, but with time these should improve. I thank you all for watching my videos during this time, commenting and liking those videos. And so today we are going to build something simple just so that I can regain my mojo after the horrific COVID experience. So today we are going to start with this, which is the 1/144th scale Shenyang F-8II or J-8II, and that's the box art there. So let's quickly dive in and see what we have inside the box. So first thing, we are greeted with a single plastic bag, followed by a single page instruction sheet which has the sprue map, the color call out, and 2 assembly steps in total. So let's cut open the plastic bag and see what we have inside. And here's the set of 2 sprues, a decal sheet and the canopy. And here's a look at the pretty good detail on the surface of the kit and those recessed panel lines. And here's the very clear canopy, single piece. And here are the very nicely printed decals. So let's begin with the builds then, and I start off by painting the interiors of the aircraft. I assemble that cockpit seat, which is the only detail available inside the cockpit of this particular kit, and I just brush painted the details inside and painted up the seat with Fevicryl black and the floor and cockpit walls with the gray blue which is present on the PLAAF J-8s. Right, the next step was to assemble the upper and lower fuselage sections together, and there are quite a few locator pins on both the upper and lower fuselage sections, and they align perfectly fine with just little gaps here and there. I then decided at this point to mount it in the in-flight configuration, and so I drilled a hole on the underside just in front of the ventral fin to be able to mount the aircraft. The rest of the build was pretty simple and straightforward. I assembled the nose of the aircraft and then the vertical stabilizer. Followed by the ventral fin. However, the ventral fin assembly was a little too long for the mounting hole which I constructed earlier, so I had to trim off the ventral fin a little bit and shape it a little more so that the mounting hole is free of any obstruction. It's a pretty decent kit with very few fit issues here and there, especially these areas that needed to be filled on the air intake and the nose. But apart from that, there wasn't much. I also decided to fill up the undercarriage gear base because I'm going to mount it in the in-flight configuration. I then used Fevicol white glue to attach the canopy to the fuselage. I had previously already masked the canopy. Once the general assembly was complete, I decided to fill the gaps with Comfill automotive putty. And while the putty was drying, I decided to paint up the missiles and detail them with the missile bands. These are the PL-2 missiles carried by the Shenyang J-8s. I then used this spray can from Dolphin, which is white spray paint, and I decided to paint the entire aircraft with this spray paint. It came out pretty well, although it needed a couple of coats. I think about 3 coats of white were required to cover it up completely. But in the end, the result was pretty amazing, and the white came out much better than what I expected it to be. And finally, after the decals were done, I attached the weapons. I then prepared a black wash with Fevicryl black chalk pastel by mixing it with water and dishwashing liquid, and then applied it in a pin wash method, not on the entire aircraft but in select places, because I didn't want to weather it too much, as most of the pictures of the J-8 that I saw online, they were pretty clean. Once the wash had dried, I cleaned up the excess with cotton Q-tips, and that left up a very nice effect of weathering on the surface of the aircraft. And here's the completed model, the Shenyang J-8 or F-8II of the People's Liberation Army Air Force, China. My 2 cents with this kit: it's a pretty simple to assemble kit. I completed the build and painting of it in a matter of 5 days. The only grudge would be the little bit of filler required in the nose section, slight inaccuracies in the canopy structure, and the decal number 11501, which seems to be a fictitious one. But apart from that, what else can you expect from a kit that costed just 300 rupees? It's a great build. I enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please share it further, and a sub to the channel would be incredible. Thank you very much.